Hey there, I'm Greg Finn.
And I'm Jess Budd.
And it is officially Marketing O'Clock here on November 16th, 2018. Remember, you can catch us live without a net on Fridays on YouTube in the morning, or you can consume us via your favorite podcasting player at your leisure.
Yes, and follow along with us in our show notes. To do so, just head over to marketingoclock.com for all of the links from today's articles.
And first up this week, Instagram has unveiled 3 new shopping features ahead of the holidays.
Woo!
And first up, Instagram users will have a shopping collection where they can save products to. And when you see an image, you'll get a prompt to save that to a shopping collection. And then you can access those shopping collections by browsing through from your profile. So you can look at items at a later time. The second item is you can shop via video. So if there is a video going, you can tag a product that is a shoppable product and click on through to see that. And lastly, for business profiles, you now have a new shop tab that is available. And with the shop tab, you can just showcase all your products that can be browsed right from Instagram. And I think this is really cool. A bunch of new features. And there was a good example of the video, the shoppable products from video. And the example was a crop top that could be purchased from an ice skating video. And I just want to put it out there. I've never been an ice skater. It seems like that'd be cold.
Okay, but you and I probably, the way we skate is different from people that are buying outfits for skating. Right, exactly. So, I don't know. I feel like people are out there working up a sweat doing those triple axles or whatever.
Yeah, I do. I usually see like sleeves. I like a sleeve when skating personally.
Yeah, this is a sleeveless crop top for those of you who don't see the image in front of us.
All right, but yep, look for that on an Instagram near you.
Yeah, it's super cool. The timing of it though is a little bit tight with the holidays.
Oh, because it is the holidays right now?
I mean, well, pretty much Black Friday is a week from today. So Instagram businesses need to get out there and get on this. But it is a really cool feature. And it's also taken me back a little bit to what we talked about. I think it was last week with people that are spending, I forgot what the stat was, but it was like 2 out of every $5. That's not the real stat on themselves when they're out shopping. And I just feel like people are going to use this to shop for themselves for the holidays more so than anybody else.
Yep. So all you marketers, skate on over to your business profile and get those fixed up here.
Get yourself a crop top. Next up, LinkedIn's company pages are getting a refresh, and it really doesn't do it justice to call it a refresh either. It's a whole lot of new stuff that's going on. Their announcement stated, quote, "We are excited to announce LinkedIn Pages, the conversation with LinkedIn's community of more than 590 million members and 30 million pages." That is a long quote, but I couldn't have said it better. They also went on to say that the new pages were designed to help organizations authentically connect with their members and grow longer lasting connections. So how are they doing that and what's new? There's a lot of cool stuff. Strap in. There's quite a bit here. Pages can use hashtags to listen in on conversations that are relevant to their brand and their business, which I think is really cool.
I think it's super dumb.
You do?
Yeah. What do we need hashtags? Your business, like, follow people that make sense. Keep your eye out for it. You don't need to be like, oh, there's a new hashtag in digital marketing. I need to tie into this from my company page.
Sure,
like,
but
we don't need hashtags for everything. I'm over hashtags. I'm done with it. Get rid of it personally, but my company page is probably going to fail compared to yours.
Yeah, well, hashtag over it, I guess. It's a nice feature, whether you use or not, it's there for you. Admins, a little more important stuff here. Admins can create posts and reply to comments straight from the mobile app now. Guess they couldn't do that before, which is nice. They've also added new ways to engage with your audience. So they're allowing businesses to share an individual's post on their page, which is great for things like employee-generated content. If you want to share something one of your employees of your business posted, you can also highlight mentions from customers. So things like reviews and other content where other people are talking about your business in a positive way. The coolest thing that I think is coming is what they're calling content suggestions. Basically, LinkedIn is going to show you topics that are trending within your target audience, so you have more insight into what your folks care about. So it gives businesses more opportunities to create content that's relevant to their target audience, that's really going to resonate with them because you can see what they care about right now, which I think is probably the best feature of this.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the thing that was really, really interesting that is kind of overlooked, at least with what people are talking about, is the ability to share content with your employees and hopefully get that amplification. I know that here in Buffalo, there is a company, I think it's called Clearview Social, where like that's the whole motto is you have something and you can go distribute it out on LinkedIn, on other social networks. And if you're like, oh, everybody in the company, here's a notification. We just put this blog post out. You're probably going to get more pickup from it. It's going to be a lot easier. And that could be a really cool tool for people if it's done right. But I was with you too. It's like one of the big improvements is a mobile app. It's like, oh, great. All right. I mean, that'd be cool if we were like 2014 version of Marketing O'Clock, but not that impressive.
Yeah, well, here's another impressive thing. This doesn't sound impressive, but I could see the practical uses for it. You can add documents. You could share documents like PDFs and PowerPoint.
But LinkedIn, didn't they buy SlideShare? Like, what do you need? PowerPoints and PDFs?
Like I said, there's probably practical internal uses to your point.
Okay, cool. Next up this week, the launch of ad monetization for AMP stories. And I'm just going to get this all out of the way right now.
Get it out.
Because if you know Marketing O'Clock, you know what typically happens here. So we're just going to do it all in one fell swoop. As the number of AMP stories have ramped up over the past year, advertisers will need to revamp their thinking with AMP story ads. Like AMP story ads will run rampant across your entire screen and can amplify your message using video, image, or animations. Users will have ample opportunities to interact with the ad and can use the tap gesture to ramp past an ad or simply tap on a call to action to view the example product.
Wow.
While there is an amplitude of 100 plus offerings for the AMP ad network integrations, story ads won't have that large of a sample as there is only one champ, Google Ads Manager. Previously DoubleClick, now revamped as Google Ads Manager, is the only option for AMP story ads. It currently has the market clamped. Lastly, AMP story ads can off-ramp traffic to an AMP web page, a non-AMP web page, the App Store or Google Play Store, or a sponsored story.
You just gave Dr. Seuss and William Shakespeare combined a run for their money.
Thanks. Well, it's not hard with Dr. Seuss. You know my thoughts on Dr. Seuss.
I do. That's why I brought
Dr.
it up.
Dr. Seuss is a hack because he just makes words up. All those were actually real words.
I'm really, really impressed with you, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes one of us. Yeah.
You warned everyone. It's okay. I thought it was cool in there. They said that every ad would have a consistent ad attribution label, so users could see that it was an ad versus regular content inside a story. That's good. Obviously, we want people to know if they're clicking on an ad, but it did look pretty subtle to me in the visual example, which I think is great for us marketers because it just looks super organic, and hopefully these ads will get... I'm trying to think of how I can work AMP in, and I can't.
I used
all the words.
Of them. Camp. I couldn't figure out camp.
You can... you can use your Google Tag Manager to insert a tag to camp ads on your site.
See, you need
That's
to just
terrible.
Need to just go full Dr. Seuss and be like, this is going to be great for all the Zamps. And you just make words up and everybody thinks you're a genius.
Well,
although
I guess you are.
The Places You Can
really
Go is a great one. So I will give him some credit there.
That is a wonderful book. Speaking of places you can go on the internet, Google has opened up web.dev to help you measure your site. It's essentially a set of tools that report on how your site is doing based on things like SEO, overall performance, accessibility, best practices, and more. It's a score out of 100. If you've used Lighthouse before, it's pretty much Lighthouse on steroids. The goal is to help webmasters create better sites for a better web, which I think is nice. Why is it important? It doesn't just score you, obviously, and then send you on your way. It does break down what needs work so you can get into fixing it. So we all feel like we know what we're doing, I think, as seasoned marketers, but really sometimes it's nice just to have a seasoned set or another set of eyes to go in and check on your site and maybe pick out some things that you didn't know about. So it looks pretty cool. I played with it very, very quickly, and there was some things going on my site that I wasn't aware of.
Wow. And I put the old Google into web.dev, and surprisingly, the SEO score that Google was given was an 80.
Wow.
So take that, Google, and then Marketing O'Clock, SEO score, 100.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Take that, Google.
And then I, just being the curious fellow than I am, I put in web.dev to web.dev to see what they scored themselves. And I think I hit a recursive loop and it broke. And it just errored out. So don't do that. You won't see anything there.
What witchcraft?
But very cool. All right. And next up this week, the IAB has a new revenue report on ads. And this sample size is half year. I don't know if I recall seeing a lot of HYs. I know a lot of YOYs, MOMs, but not a lot of HYs. So
it's cute. It's like, hi.
Yeah, it's like a messed up hey. And so half year 2017 versus half year 2018, the ad growth was up 23%, fueled by mobile. 42% of that growth came from mobile growth. And you can see that users are actually consuming ads not only on one device, but it's also desktop and mobile, and that 64% of people are contacted or touched basically in a multi-platform facet. And another thing that was really interesting is, again, half year over half year. Digital was up 23%. Biggest loser, magazines.
Aww.
Down 15%.
Poor magazines.
Second to newspaper. How is newspaper not shrinking faster than magazines?
I think people actually read the newspaper, and then people order magazines to put them on their coffee table and look cool, but they don't read them.
All right, I got something we can look up. Look it up. Ready? We might have to bing this after. I think that newspaper decline rate is like the death rate. It's 8% down, and it's just 8% of us are dying off, and it's just slowly getting worse.
Oh, that's just so sad.
We'll have to look that up.
We'll have to look
after.
at the next half year and see what the stats are.
Yeah, look at the death rates.
You know what I didn't see on this traditional media chart, though, was billboards. I know that's your favorite version of marketing, but not on the list.
We don't have enough time to get into my hatred of billboards. Because I think you could do a billboard the right way. And I don't hate billboards. I hate the execution that happens, especially in Buffalo. If you ever want to see just a smorgasbord of horrific execution, come out here. It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, big brands do it well, though. I almost got a cranberry Sprite this week due to seeing it on a billboard because it just sounded so delicious.
Only you.
Yeah, well, whatever. I didn't do it, so the billboards didn't work. Anyway, not on the list. Next up, the Google My Business app has been updated, and it's not just bug fix performance stats like people that request directions to your business, anyone that makes calls from your listing. You can also easily create posts and offers and a ton more just with a click of a button. So if you're one of those people that doesn't update your apps, which is me, you should do so if you use Google My Business at all on your mobile. Don't be that person for once. You want this update.
Cool. And this is one big told ya that we've been saying for the past, 6 months now, is that with all these additions to My Business, it is becoming a huge deal. And this cements it. Yeah. You can now put up posts from your business right on the fly with your mobile app. You can, again, follow all these businesses, respond. This is a huge deal. And again, you need, especially if you're a local business, you need to have a plan for your My Business. And now it's easier because you can do it on the go.
Exactly. And I didn't write down what it was called, but they actually officially named the box that your business shows up your listing in the search results. So check the article out for the
first up this week. There is a developer preview of better AMP URLs in Google search. This is quite technical, so I'm just going to give you the high beats here. But with some pre-rendering and signed exchanges, there's a 3-step process where you can start to test what your URLs, your AMP URLs, are going to look like in Google search. And again, head over the show notes so you can see that from the developers, the Google developers page.
No more AMP puns for that one, huh?
We're all out.
Next up, Bing Ads want you to, quote, stay ahead of the pack with the competition tab. They have a new competition tab, aptly named. It is machine learning driven insights that can help you analyze your competition in search ads, as well as improved recommendations to help you act on that information. So the visuals were actually pretty exciting.
And that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
They had a tutorial and they didn't use the Bing pages. They changed the font out to something cool. It actually looked like a designer made this thing, but the tutorial wasn't actually Bing ads. It was this pseudo cool looking thing. And we talked about this last week. We talked about getting those Nip Tuck fellows on.
Yeah.
And they hired them.
They did.
They listened to us, and they made that cool video. And now you just need to take that wonky font that you use and in the video and just throw that right on Bing Ads.
Yeah,
but who makes a tutorial without the actual site?
I don't know. The whole time I was watching it, I was thinking about you and how excited that you must have been.
I was so excited.
But it sort of made me wonder, like, oh, is this stuff just, it's not real? They're just faking the whole thing and we're all going to get there and not see it?
Who knows?
Or maybe it'll be sweet looking. I don't know, it reminded me of like a race car is a bad word, but it was like cool. It was exciting.
Yeah, it was really cool. And I'm gonna see if I can do like some kind of font change on my Chrome so that I can get it to look like that.
Sweet. Or on your ads themselves, they need to just put that new font everywhere.
Cool. Next up, Google does not use the Better Business Bureau or other trust building sites for rankings. Google said over a year ago that adding trust building seals or logos to your site has no impact on rankings. And they, again, confirmed that what we already know.
Yes, and they did make a good point in the article, though, that even though it doesn't directly impact your rankings, you still obviously want a good online reputation should somebody Google your business's name. So pay attention anyway.
Yeah, hey, and don't take it off, you guys. Right. You, the person right there, listen to this right now. I see what you're doing. I see that thought in your head. Don't take it off. It'll help convert if you have a really good, better business. If you have A+ BBB rating, keep it on.
It's not just about rankings,
just because it doesn't help you in rankings. It helps you in other things.
Yes.
So put down the mouse. Go get a cranberry spray and relax.
It sounds like you're talking to me. I swear I'm not doing it right now. Next up from Google Ads Help. The article is called Sight, Sound, and Scale. TrueView for Reach is now available to all brands globally. This is something that was introduced in April, but it is now officially out of beta and rolling out to everybody. If you're not familiar with this, it's that skippable in-stream ad type combined with CPM bidding. So it's really good for people with awareness goals.
Okay, and Jess, when are we ever going to use this here?
We're not, but that's what there was literally nothing else to talk about in the article. So there it is. It's ready for everyone.
Just because you can buy CPM video somewhere else doesn't mean you need to buy it on YouTube.
Amen.
Okay, next up, Google's new web app lets you squish images down to smaller file sizes. Google came up with a new URL called squish.it, and it's basically this like transparent looking page, and you just take an image from your desktop, you throw it on there, and it squishes it down to a usable file size. And that got me thinking, like, I like squish. Is that a real word? It's not. Disclaimer, spoiler alert. But in Wiktionary, that thing that like makes up all the fake words, that is basically my personal dictionary. It says
okay, Dr. Seuss.
And I and I learned that buying these .devs and .its, what if do you have to own the .com? Because what if you go to squish.com and somebody put something naughty up there?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I always think about that. It's great to be like squish.it until squish.com is showing something inappropriate.
Something unsavory. The difference between you and I is that when I read this, I read it as squoosh, not squish. And there's a really cute red panda in the example. I just want to squish him, a little fluff ball.
Okay, perfect. Okay. check it out in our show notes today.
Onto serious news. YouTube wrote a blog post this week called The Potential Unintended Consequences of Article 13. We talked about this a little bit a few weeks back, and if you're not following the saga, the gist is that the EU is working on a policy that would hold internet companies responsible for copyright infringement that happens on their platforms. There's a lot going on. Google's very opinionated on the subject, and they basically just wrote another article again that said that, you know, they're behind the justification, I guess, or the reason behind what the EU is doing, but they are not happy with the way that it is proposed to be carried out. So it's very serious. You should read the article. But my favorite thing.
Go ahead.
No. Are you gonna?
No, you can go.
And I hope this wasn't what you were gonna say. I hope you have more. But the first comment on the bottom of at the end of the article was, quote, I wanted to write a comment explaining how EU regulation never has unintended consequences, but I am too busy clicking on cookie consent pop-ups.
Nice.
Which made me laugh.
Okay. My what I was going to say is Google is not or YouTube is not happy with these rules and what may happen. YouTube users and creators have the same thing happen all the time. The tables have turned.
Ooh.
That you could get banned. You get little strikes. You don't know exactly what they're for. There's no way to argue against that. How does it feel? Pretty bad. Pretty bad, I bet. And the tables have turned, and that's what it feels like. And that's what that's what anybody that's been banned or had their channel taken away feels like as well. So
Ouch. Take
Burn.
that, YouTube.
Okay, next up.
YouTube.
There are new ways to create and watch VR videos on YouTube. And so the YouTube VR app is now available on Oculus Go headsets via the Oculus Store. There is a VR 180 or 180 creator tool that makes it faster to process footage, add metadata, and publish. A lot of cool new stuff coming for YouTube and VR.
So just a side anecdote. I was in New York earlier this week and I saw an ad for Oculus on the side of a bus stop. They had like a video board and it was footage of a giraffe and it was like,
I don't know, how could that be scary without VR?
I just said, I don't know. I didn't expect it to keep coming that close and it did.
But it was scary. You didn't want to squish it?
I didn't know. I wanted one time. Never mind. I love animals. Amazon says that it has over 10,000 employees working on Alexa and Echo. This is double the folks that were working on it just a year ago. So clearly Amazon's investing a lot in this technology. The article talks a little bit about all the cool new places you can expect to see it. Really just get your speakable markup in order because voice assistants are going to be everywhere.
That's a lot of employees. 10,000 employees working on Alexa and Echo. And then the one difference that I envision when I see 10,000 people on this, I bet that Amazon has support people. Like the Zappos mantra of just being support, and Amazon has the best customer support ever. And then you try to do anything with Google and it's like they never knew how to sell a good in their life. And they have the worst customer experience and you only can talk to people digitally. And I don't know. I'm starting to come around on the Alexa. Even though I don't have one.
Yeah.
I mean,
she's lovely. She has fun games.
I just feel like the customer, I don't know, maybe I'll write something on this, but I'm just down on Google. I try to do something with a Nest and it's just excruciating. You're like, hey, I want to talk to somebody about this. And you're like, oh, you're in queue number 27 and it takes you 45 minutes to talk to somebody.
They should have more people on call.
Get 10,000 more people. Google.
Yeah,
there we go.
Take that.
Okay, and last up this week, Twitter's Explore tab is now sorting stories into sections. Again, finishing this Dr. Seuss theme here. And what Twitter is doing when you go to the Explore tab, it's now kind of like tabbed stories where you can say, I want to look at news or sports or something like that. So you can explore more. I really like that Twitter Explorer, and I think that this is a nice upgrade to that.
Yeah, for sure. And before we get into the must-read marketing article, I would just like to say we got through an entire episode without saying portal. So I had to say it.
You know who else is not saying portal?
Who?
The world. Okay, and that brings us to the must-read marketing article of the week, an article so advanced, so in-depth that we simply cannot cover the entire thing here on the show. And this week's article is called 50 Experts Rank Best Backlink Analysis Tools for 2019, parentheses, leaderboard inside, end parentheses, from Robbie Richards. And the author is Robbie, who I'm assuming is just Robbie Richards. And I actually like this because it was a really good detailed breakdown if you are for some reason out there looking to assess kind of like backlink tools and what might work for you. There's some ranking scales based on all these different factors that people really don't think about. You can see like, what am I looking at from competitors? What am I looking at from the health of backlink profiles? And then what are some of the top features? This is kind of like a niche thing, only mainly for SEOs out there. But I really like the way this article is put together. Nice work on that, Robbie. And take a look. Again, head over to the show notes to check that out.
And that does it for today's show.
It is officially now not Marketing O'Clock.
Remember, you can catch all the content from today's show on marketingoclock.com or in the descriptions below. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode.
And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.